حي على الفلاح.
That Allah's Messenger ﷺ said that ahead of you there will be years of deception. Those who are truthful will not be accepted or believed, and those who speak lies will be believed and accepted. And during these years, a specific type of person will open their mouth, will talk a lot, will speak. So the companions didn't recognize the word. What does it mean? He said, a foolish person speaking about public affairs, speaking about matters of great importance that concern everyone. Those small-minded will start speaking about important issues. They will have a presence, a strong presence. They will have platforms. They will be listened to. They will be watched and followed by millions, and they will be celebrated. Those small-minded, foolish people who don't even make sense, these are the people who will be looked up to. Their speech, their opinions will be celebrated, and they will be all over the place. They will be aired all over the place. Their word will be dominant. Their opinions will become popular. But because the majority have fallen for the deception, foolishness becomes rationality. Immorality becomes celebrated as the best style of life and the best way to live. So the scales are altered. Everything is reversed. These are the years of deception. And being deceptive means that your natural level of perception will not be able to see through that facade. When you see them, you see believers. They speak as believers. Everything about how they look like or how they come across suggests Iman and faith. And that's why most people don't figure them out. But their reality is disbelief. That's what deception is. So years of deception means most people won't realize their reality and the truth of these days. They will fall for the deception. They will be taken for a ride. Then the Prophet ﷺ goes on to explain how this plays out. Those who speak the truth, true values that humans are supposed to live according to, will be looked down upon. Why? Because they will contradict the popular narrative that is prevalent in a society and a community. And because they go against it, they're not seen to be trustworthy. They will be the anomaly. They will stand out. They will be ostracized. Accusations will be thrown at them. They will be given names. Why? Because they don't fit in. And that means most people will derive their standards, their values from what is prevalent in society, from the dominant culture and narrative. So if a crime becomes normalized and practiced by the majority of society or approved of by the majority of society, even though it's immoral, when you speak out against it, you are ostracized. You are criminalized. And not only by bad people, but by the majority. Because the majority will fall for the deception. So when people speak, those who speak the truth, they will be seen as liars. They will be seen as immoral. Because people's standards don't derive from absolute morality and standards and divine principles. There's no reference point. The reference point for them comes from society. Whatever people hold on to, whatever people live according to, then that's it. So they lack the moral principles. They lack the absolute nature of truth versus falsehood, morality versus immorality. Even if most of society departs from true human nature, there will be people who will speak the truth. There will be people who refuse to be intimidated by the majority, and they will hold on to the principles. And these people will be accused of being liars, immoral. Whereas people who embrace immorality, falsehood, people who don't even speak the truth, they will be held in high esteem. They will be looked up to. They will be role models in society. They will be celebrated. That's the deception, but most people won't see it. Most people will see the immoral ones, the liars, they will see them as the pinnacle of society. And then they will look down upon those who speak the truth and stand up for the truth. Most people will fall for that. And it won't occur to them that we are contradicting the truth, because they will see that the majority is upon the truth. Then those who are trustworthy, those who deserve to be trusted and held in trust, they will not be trusted. They will be held in doubt and suspicion. Whereas those who are telling lies, those who cannot be trusted with people's morality, people's well-being, those are the people whose opinion will be listened to, whose decisions will be implemented. And most people will fall for that. Then the Prophet ﷺ clarifies another aspect of these deceptive years. Feature that will be prevalent. That is, the Ruwaybidah will speak. They will have a presence, a strong presence. They will have platforms. They will be listened to. They will be watched and followed by millions. And they will be celebrated. Those small-minded, foolish people who don't even make sense. These are the people who will be looked up to. Their speech, their opinions will be celebrated, and they will be all over the place. They will be aired all over the place. Their word will be dominant. Their opinions will become popular. But if it were to be a healthy society or a healthy population, such people would not even open their mouths, because nothing comes out of their mouth but foolishness. But because the majority have fallen for the deception, foolishness becomes rationality. Immorality becomes celebrated as the best style of life and the best way to live. So the scales are altered. Everything is reversed. These are the years of deception. Why does the Prophet ﷺ tell us about that? So that we be aware of them. And it's not a matter of, oh, are these days the days we live in? Well, if you look at our society, we have a lot of these traits there. Are these the days the Prophet ﷺ was talking about? Well, the Prophet ﷺ did not speak about a specific time, but he was saying there will be years of deception. So as much as we match that description, then it applies to our days. But doesn't mean our time is going to be the only time where these words apply. No, there will be more. And most likely there will be days where the description applies even more to them. We have to be ready. We have to take necessary measures to protect ourselves from the deception, because once you fall into this deception, you become part of the machine of deception, and you will start fighting the truth unknowingly, because you're living from a state of ghafla, unconsciousness, unawareness. You have fallen for the deception. You have become one of its tools to propagate it and promote it more. So it's important for us to live our lives conscious, being aware, and not become desensitized to that deception. And one important principle in order to protect ourselves from that is to carefully calculate and be very meticulous about where you take your standards from. Your value system, where does it come from? What is it based? Is it based on social evidence and how the majority live? Or do you have more absolute sources for your principles, your values, and your morality? That's the question. That's the main point. Because if you draw your principles and your parameters from a source of absolute principles and morals, then you will not be pushed around by circumstances and by all of these ephemeral social narratives and cultures. You'll be free from them. You'll be able to transcend them, because truth has an absolute existence that is independent of any circumstances, that is independent from what people think about it, or how many people embrace it and how many people go against it. The truth has its own independent existence. And even if all of humanity and all of the creatures go against it, it still stands strong, regardless. Prophet ﷺ, another authentic hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says to the companions, ahead of you there will be the days of patience. The days that require patience, perseverance, and fortitude. In those days, those individuals who hold on to the truth, their experience will be so challenging that holding on to the truth will be similar to holding on to hot coals, with all the pain, but you can't let go of it. And during those days, those who hold on to what you are upon are the companions of the Prophet ﷺ. They will receive the reward of 50. So the companions said, 50 from among ourselves or among them? He said, 50 from among you. Because the challenge is severe. And it seems the Prophet ﷺ was talking about the same years, the years of deception. And the Prophet ﷺ in this second narration is giving us the solution to be able to deal with the years of deception. They require patience. It's a matter of you discerning the truth and making sure that your ultimate goal is the truth. And the moment you grow unaware of this focus, you can fall into the deception. The second most important thing is that it will require patience, because we humans normally try to fit in, not only consciously but unconsciously. You cannot compromise. You cannot even grow heedless. You can't take a break. And you can't allow yourself a mistake, because if you commit a mistake and you say, I'll fix it later on, you might be just carried away by the tide and never be able to bring yourself back. So you need to be patient. It requires a lot of patience to be consistent upon something like that, to be focused in the midst of all of these distractions and the things that push you away, things that work against you. And then the pull of society, because when a society starts to demonize you and it starts to force lies, immorality on you, giving falsehood the best names, and then depicting the truth in the worst image ever. It takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of patience not to fall for the intimidation, not to fall for all of this brainwashing, not to fall for the allure and the attraction of fitting in a society and not being different, because it takes a lot to be different, because you're pushing back all the time. What society believes in, what society practices, what society celebrates has a huge weight on every individual that goes against it. But you have a very hard choice. Either go against Allah and against your human nature and your fitrah and betray yourself and betray your Creator, or go against the pressure of society, the people of deception. Life will be tough. Your days will not be like the days of others. Enjoyment will be less. Emotional pain will magnify. Life will become harder. To confess the truth and embrace the truth will become harder. So it requires patience. Patience means this shall pass. This will come to an end. Just hang in there, hold on to your principles, embrace this absolute morality of divine principles, live according to them. It will be tough, but it will be over. Because the other choice is to choose immediate relief, and it will not be for relief, it will be fake relief. But then for eternity, there will be suffering and struggle and pain. That's the choice. Choices are tough, and there will not be easy choices. Do you think you shall enter paradise when what has come or what came to the people before you has not come to you yet? All the challenges, all the tests, all the hardships, mental, physical, emotional, social, all types of pain and challenges, extreme, have touched them. وَزُلْزِلُوا, they were shaken. Everything in their life was shaken. Everything was put to the test, to the point that the Prophet from among those previous nations and his disciples who were with him, they would say, when is the help of Allah going to arrive? They couldn't deal with it anymore. They reached their limit. Because the harder the test, the greater the reward. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us upon the truth